Welcome to our few moments together on the Parsha. This Shabbos, we have the privilege of reading Parshas KI Saytsay. Kiseitselam has the unique characteristic that it has so many of the 613 mitzvahs in the Torah. And we know that at the very beginning of Kiseitselam, we find the words Kiseitselam milchama ala yavecha, when you will go out to war against your enemy. Unesono Hashem Elokecha, and Hashem will give this enemy biyodecha, in your hand, v'shavisa shivyo, and you will capture it. And the Shem Shmuel says, as do many Mefarshim, that this concept refers to the victory in the war of the Yetzer, of the spirit. That when you go out to war against your enemy, Hashem will give the enemy in your hand, meaning that which tries to tear a human being down, that which tries to make the human being a little bit less, that is going to be given in your hand if you go out to war against him. And as the Shem Shmuel points out, there are two types of wars that the Torah talks about. One in this week's Sefer, when it says, when you will go out to war against your enemy, and Hashem will give him into your hand. And in Parshas Ba'aloscha, when it says, V'chisavo'u milchama ba'artzechem, when there will come a war into your land, then v'harayosem b'chatzotzos, you're going to have to sound the bugles because you're not guaranteed a victory. Of course, on a simple level, this means it's always better to fight the war on the other turf, not on your own. Because when it comes into your own land, even when you win, you lose. But when the war is being fought outside your personal sphere, then you have a better chance of victory, because when you do become victorious, it will be a complete victory. The Shem Shmuel says the difference between the two is in the grammatical usage. When it says Kiseitselam milchama, when you will go out to war, it's lashon yachid. It's in a singular form. While v'chisavo'u milchama ba'artzechem, when a war will come in the plural into your land, then you're not guaranteed so quickly a victory. And he says that when the Jewish people are united and they go out to war, when it's Saytsay, singular, when you're all united, guaranteed victory. When the Jewish people are united, there's victory. When it's fragmented and it comes into your land, not so guaranteed a victory, and especially so when it comes to the Milchemes HaYetzer. If the Jewish people want to win the war of the inclination of the Yetzer Tov over the Yetzer Ra, there has to be a unity amongst the Jewish people. I'd like to suggest that maybe the idea that the Shem Shmuel is teaching us goes a step further. Maybe what the Shem Shmuel is telling us is that each individual has to have a unity within oneself. When we approach Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, when we approach the month of Elul, and we want to come closer to Hashem, and we want to seek forgiveness for the past, and we want to have hope for the future, it's not just that we have to have a general Jewish people's unity, but maybe each individual, as individuals come before Hashem, we need to be unified within ourselves. We need to have a clear path in our own observance, in our own hashkafic views, in our own approach. We need to be self-unified, that within our soul we feel the unity of coming close to Hashem. If Kiseitselam, if we are unified within ourselves, and we have no qualms, a little bit we are good, a little bit not so good, but we're seeking only the good, we're unified, we're going to be victorious. While if we're fragmented within ourselves, and we're not so sure about where we stand, it's harder to achieve the level of closeness to Hashem, to be victorious over the war with the self-inclination. And maybe that is another dimension of the teaching of the Shem Shmuel on this particular pasuk. As we approach the upcoming high holidays. We talk about Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur. Let's try to be self-unified. Let's try to be one with ourselves, and that way we're guaranteed of a great victory and a wonderful year ahead. I'd like to bless everyone with a wonderful Shabbat Shalom and Mevorach. We should hear only victories, not only on behalf of Klal Yisrael as a whole, but each individual in particular. Kiseitselam, Hashem will guarantee to give him into your hand. Shabbat Shalom u'Mevorach.